Salutations and Happy New Year, everyone! Colonel Wisdom here with my first new video for 2012. This is also the first time where my videos can extend to 15 minutes long rather than 10 minutes long. But I don't think I'm going to have this problem this time. I'm going to try to make this brief, but you know, I always wing it, so who knows how this is going to go. But anyway, this video is a response to a response, really. It's a response to G-Man on Live and his response to this girl who I believe goes by the name Lebenandi or Lebenandi. I'm not sure how you pronounce this user's name. It's spelled Lebonandi. Apparently she's amongst the black conscious corner, the black conscious community of YouTube. I'm not really familiar with most of her videos. I think I might have seen a few and I thought they were okay, but this latest one she titled Ish Black Women Need to Say. It just really annoyed me and just actually pissed me off, and it did piss G-Man on Live off too. But for some different reasons, I think there's really no women calling this video out for what it is, and so I'm just gonna give a female perspective on why her video annoyed me, since nobody else seems to be doing it. Okay, so at the beginning, and I'm gonna have her video in my description box so you guys can go check it out. Then I'm gonna have another video that sort of correlates to why the first video irritated me. But for now, I'll just focus on what she said. So at the beginning, she was talking about how some guys approach her by saying "yo ma" or whistling because they're looking at her butt or her body or whatever, and she just makes it out to be like she's being sexually harassed and so objectified, and you know stuff like this tends to happen in all black neighborhoods that are lower income or lower to middle class. Sometimes from ghetto shitholes to lower middle class, let's say. This stuff doesn't happen to upper class communities, regardless of the race of people. Usually in the blue collar communities. So anyway, I've had stuff like this happen to me occasionally, and my body type is somewhat similar to Lemonandy's. I mean, she has a better one, admittedly, but you know, I've had this stuff. I've had certain catcalls happen to me too when I haven't worn any curve hugging clothes. Sometimes it'll happen in the middle of winter when I'm mostly covered up, you know, in my winter jacket, because I'm from the Northeast as well. She's from New York, I believe. But yeah, I've had this stuff happen to me too. It's usually a mild inconvenience or a mild annoyance. I'll either ignore the guy, or I'll just turn the guy down politely, and I'll go about my business. And yeah, that's it. I mean, so yeah, it is annoying, but I mean, it's just, she just made it bigger than she made it deeper than what it is. I mean, if somebody says "yo ma," it's just hip hop slang. They're not talking to you like you're a dog. And if you go out, and if they're looking at your butt, and you have your butt in, you know, curve fitting things where it just draws attention to your butt, well, you might as well have a giant red target on your butt or on your breasts. You know, why are you gonna get mad that the men noticed it? I mean, even if you were in a burqa, the guy knows that you have, you know, breasts and hips and whatever. Even if you just showed your face, and the guy thought you had an attractive face and approached you over that, would it still be a problem? Really? And you know, I'm not saying that the thirsty guys who overstep their boundaries and who just harass women, that doesn't occur, because it does occur, and that has happened to me too, where I would turn a guy down politely, say I'm not interested, and when I have something to go do, and he keeps like wasting my time, like 5 minutes trying to mac on me. Then when I'm ready to walk home, he'll try to follow me home, and at that point I have to do, an alternate route home, so because I don't want him seeing where I live, and that typically works. No, not typically, it has worked. And like I said, depending on my mood, this is a mild to moderate inconvenience. And this is, legitimate harassment, or it could be considered legitimate harassment. But the problem with the overall tone of Miss Lebanoni's video is that she wasn't talking about harassment. She was just nitpicking the way men approach her based on her looks. And yet she has this YouTube channel where men compliment her looks on almost every video, and it's appreciated. Just because, I guess, because they're YouTubers, and subscribing to her and friending her makes her feel more awesome than if it's some random hood dude that she's not interested in complimenting her. I don't know, but compliments on your looks are compliments on your looks. Now, if the guy is saying a bunch of sexual expletives to you or something, yeah, that's legitimate disrespect, and that's unnecessary, but she wasn't talking about that. This kind of makes me think of this chick that last week there was this chick named Tatiana Miss Pretty. I was trolling her channel of sorts, looking at one of her videos where she complained about men not opening the car door for her, or not taking her to certain restaurants, and saying, "Oh, that's for the common chick, and not for the ultimate female." Lebanoni's video reminded me of that, because it's like she wants certain compliments to call her a beautiful curvy goddess, and all this or that or whatever. But if some dude just says "yo ma" or yo short, or you sexy, it essentially means the same thing. It really does. But because it's not, it's not gassing her head up and putting her on this huge pedestal, and making her feel like a common chick, then it's a problem. And that's what I couldn't stand about her video, because black women being harassed on the street, or having a dude kinda sorta stalk them, or not taking no for an answer, just being annoying, even when the woman is dressed modestly, it does happen. But you would never guess that by looking at her video. You would just guess that, when we talk about it, we're just pulling it out of our ass. So she totally destroyed her argument by dressing that way in her video. She said her reason for doing so was because she wanted to prove some kind of point, and to just see how the men would react. And that lets me know that she wasn't as innocent as she sort of let on to be. If she knows that she has a certain body type that appeals to many men, and she then wants to provoke a reaction out of it, hence the term dressing provocatively, she wants to provoke that reaction, then she loses credibility, and she loses sympathy. The problem I also had with her video, well, I got less than 7 more minutes, so let me wrap this up. Well, this wasn't a problem, but when she goes on to men calling her gay because of her short hair, telling her to get a weave because of her short hair, yes, that is rude. That is very rude and assy. And fortunately, I've never experienced anything like that. But other than that, her video, it was just, it just sent the message of this little statement that I have highlighted in my video here. That's how I interpreted it. And what else? G-Man on Live said something about how this was an aspect of classism. It did kind of sort of seem that way when she called the men who approach her, how she doesn't want to be approached a Ray or a Pookie. So she's assuming that the guy is some like ghetto hood bum, just because he might use one or two hip hop slang words, and he happens to be black. Really? I mean, that's not cool. So she doesn't want to be generalized or be or have anyone assume that she's like some promiscuous chick, or that she's a dog or a whore or whatever, but she has to assume the guy's just a ghetto bum just because he doesn't throw a bunch of platitudes at her when he doesn't even know her. Seriously. I don't know. I think at this point I would just be repeating myself. But the video, it just so annoyed me. And a lot of people, they're not seeing this for what it really is. They can't read through the passive aggressive lines. Oh, and speaking of which, I like how in her comment section she said this was the first time she showed off her curves, and that's really not true. If you go to the second video that I'm going to link to, where it was a cooking tutorial, she has the outfit is of the same tightness and firm and firmness or firm. I can't talk. Form fitting. It's just as form fitting as the previous one. So this isn't the first time. And under that video, of course, people are praising her body and praising her looks, even though it was about cooking. And this is totally acceptable, because the compliment is in the form of worship and not in the form of, yo ma, you sexy. So really, this is all about ego. This isn't about respecting a woman for her mind or whatever. And another thing, and I might make a separate video about this whole men are all logical and women are all emotional stuff, because I kind of want to challenge it. But towards the end, she was saying women are emotional creatures, deal with it. How can you expect a woman to not be emotional? Well, if somebody just asks you out casually, I don't think they don't expect you to be emotional. It's just that since they don't know you, they're not going to be that invested into your emotions, maybe? No? That makes too much sense? Oh, okay then. I know I'm probably going to get her simping stands and subscribers or whatever, talking about how I'm hating on her. Honestly, I have nothing against the girl. I don't watch her videos like that because I'm not a part of the conscious community. I have nothing against that community of YouTube, but that's not my philosophy. So I'm not quite interested in those. I just got interested in it because I saw one of my subscribers, G-Man on Live, was referencing her video and responding to it, and I got curious and decided to go watch it, which led to me being annoyed enough to make a video on it myself. But anyway, I just wish women would just stop this put up this guise of being upset that they're objectified and reduced to a piece of meat when they want to be quote unquote reduced to a piece of meat or noticed for their body or their looks, in other situations from men whose attention they do want. But when they get attention from the men that they don't want, then they're being objectified, then they're being treated like a dog. It's just such disingenuous horse shit, and it needs to stop. Well, I think that's it, everyone. I said what I had to say. Sorry for taking so long to make a video for the new year, but I had to be inspired and I had to have free time. Okay, that's it. Colonel Wisdom out.